Hey Tarot friends, Jade here. Welcome back to my channel. For today's ramblings, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things, just a recap of September and October. I've decided I'm probably going to do these every 2 months rather than every single month, just because it's just time and with family and working and everything else that's going on in my life and illness and whatever. So we're gonna do these every 2 months. And I wish my computer would stop screaming at me. Okay, so I wanted to start actually with a bit of an apology and also an explanation, I guess. So past 2 months, September and October, have been really rough for me on the health front. I suffer from pretty debilitating chronic migraines, and full disclosure, I have one today, and so I'm doing this video now rather than some other point in the future when my migraines aren't bothering me, because I'm trying to distract myself from the pain. So that is how I try to handle them some days, because otherwise I will be in the dark in bed, or in the dark on the floor of my closet, which doesn't really distract me from the pain. So it is funny, right? Like, or not funny, but I get asked all the time, like all the time for years, I get asked, how do your migraines are so debilitating. Like, how do you still manage to, take care of your family? How do you manage to have a really demanding job and work like full time? And how do you do all this stuff? Like, just how, right? With your migraines as severe as they are. And really the answer is I don't really have a choice. So I don't have a choice, and I don't want to let I don't want to let it define me, right? So I don't want to let this illness stop me from living my life and from doing the things that I want to. I could easily just sort of sit in a corner and just cry about it. And sometimes I do. And then just do nothing, but that's just not a life that I want to live. So I do my best, and some days that means that, I use up all my spoons at work, and then when I come home, I just crash and do nothing, and my family has to fend for themselves. Luckily I have a very understanding family, so it's not the end of the world when that happens once in a while. And some days I use up all my spoons on whatever doing at home, and then I end up not being able to go to work the next day. So it's just you do what you can, right? Anyway, like I said, I do have a migraine now, so if this will be rambly, and I'm sorry. I will try to keep myself on track. I did write some notes, so I have some. Hopefully I will have a little bit of success of staying on track and staying organized. Yeah, so I haven't been doing it because of that. So September and October have just been absolutely horrible. They usually are for me, just because of all the weather changes, and this year in particular has been especially horrible. So I've limited my screen time, as much as I could. Yeah, just as much as I could outside of work, just because it really does make a difference for me. So I haven't been really doing some videos. You will have seen some videos, mostly deck walkthroughs and whatnot, through September and the beginning of October, I think, and those were all previously recorded and then sort of set to a schedule. But I haven't done any other videos. I did film a few, but I just haven't been able to, haven't felt well enough to sort of do all the back end stuff. So hopefully those will come out soon. But what it also means is that I haven't been very responsive to those of you who have left me messages or comments on my videos. I really apologize for that. I will get to them, I promise. It's just I've had to prioritize what I can do the past couple of months. So I will get to them, I really promise. And I'm really sorry that I haven't responded. I appreciate every one of you for watching, and every one of you for leaving me a comment, and I will get to them. So let's get to something fun. We're like almost 6 minutes in, so like I said, it's going to be rambly. What have been some fun things? So I have been doing tarot readings, and I've been trying to keep them mostly light. Mostly light. I have done a little bit of shadow work, not too much, but just because, you know, when you're not feeling well to begin with, doing something that's like crazy introspective just sort of doesn't really go together. So I've been trying to keep things fairly light. I've been continuing with my studies of Tarot de Marseille and Lenormand and Sibylla as well. So we'll talk about some of those and some of the decks that I've been using in terms of what decks I have used. So in the past like 60 days or so, I went through my journal and I counted. I used 33 decks. So not all 33 decks every single day, obviously. Some of those decks, you know, I might have used only once or twice throughout that period, and then other decks I may have used, you know, 3, 4, or 5 times a week. Because I definitely have my favorites, but I've been trying to rotate. One of the videos that I have, I think, is I'll have to cue it up at some point, but I do show what my my autumn decks are that I pulled out, and how I have them sort of organized, and that's been working really well. So I think at the beginning of September, or sometime in September, I went through the decks that I had out and put some away, and then pulled out the ones that I wanted to use this fall. And so I have done that, and that's been working really great, because as you can see with the 33 decks, I've definitely been rotating. Some of the ones that have come out to play more often than others are a couple of new decks. I might as well show one now, but I got a previously loved first edition of the Darkness of Light Tarot. Oh my gosh, I love this deck so much. So the 4th edition just came out. I bought this like just before the 4th edition came out, and actually by the time I went to go look at it, it was sold out already. But anyway, this is just a gorgeous deck. Gorgeous. So I've been using that actually quite a bit in the past 2 weeks since I've gotten it. I have used another deck that I've used quite a bit is one that I have been doing in-depth deck study on for the past few months, which is my 2nd edition of the Bohemian Gothic. I have the Platinum edition, and it's just, you know, at this time of year, I love this deck. Anyway, I wish I had discovered Baba Studios earlier. I really wish the Victorian Romantic would come out. I would love the Tarot of Prague. Anyway, the Alice Tarot. What else have I been using a lot? I've been using a lot of Tarot de Marseille decks. So like the one of them has been my Triomphe de la Luna Paradoxical Edition. Oh, it's upside down. I actually just leave, so it comes with a bunch of oracle cards. I think there's 10 or something. I leave them actually in the deck. but I really like this deck very much. So I've been using that, and I've been using my Claude Burdell, my Francois Gassman, my Francois Hedy, and of course my Soprafino, which is an Italian deck. Oh, there's the backs, there's the front. I just love it. I'm not going to show all these. I do have walkthroughs of these, but if I show everyone, we're going to be here forever. So, what else have I been using a lot? In terms of decks that I've used quite a bit, the Triomphe of the Mary L Tarot I've been using actually quite a bit for the first time. Yeah, that deck is definitely growing on me. It's growing on me. It was actually quite disturbing when I first got it, and I wasn't sure whether I did the right thing by getting it or not, but I'm glad I did. And so I've been working through that, studying that. Another deck that I just got, which I absolutely freaking adore, kind of going all over the place, but is the This Might Hurt Tarot. Oh my god, guys, I'm gonna venture to say that it's got a pretty decent guidebook, let me tell you. I'm gonna venture to say that this is another soul deck for me. It really is. So it comes with these holographic edges. The backs are black and white, and just depth of color. This deck just speaks to me. I mean, it's so freaking, it's like my world, right? My world has, you know, people of all shapes and sizes and all colors and all abilities, and I can't tell you how much this means to me. I saw this deck when it was on Kickstarter, and I had debated between this one and the Modern Witch Tarot, and in the end I ended up going with the Modern Witch Tarot. And I kind of wish that I had gotten this one instead at the first stage. Not because I don't like the Modern Witch Tarot. I do like it. What I don't like is the cardstock. I find it so hard. I find it so hard to shuffle. I can't riffle shuffle it. It actually physically hurts my hands, and I don't use it for very much for that reason. And I probably should just try to use it more and like power through, and hopefully it'll soften up or something, because I really do like it. But this one, I love it from the beginning. One thing that's really weird, it doesn't close properly. The bottom cards just fell out. It doesn't close properly, and I don't understand why. It came it came fine, but I don't know. I've heard somebody else having that issue, but it's not the end of the world. Whatever. I just have to take the book out. I usually don't keep the book in there anyways. What else? Oh, my Pagan Otherworlds I've been using a lot. My Wonderland Oracle, and the Quantum Oracle. In terms of Lenormands, I've been using my Whimsy Lenormand a lot, as well as my Fairy Tale Oracle by Lisa Hunt. I do like that. Anyways, I'm not going to show all these right now because, like I said, we would be here forever. But yeah, I just, 33 decks is a lot. There's a lot. It's probably more than some people have in their whole collections. I don't really ascribe to this is the Fallen Angels Oracle, which I have been using, which I've been also really loving. But I don't ascribe to the you shouldn't use more than one deck for an extended period of time. Use one deck for a month, 6 months, a year, so that you really get to know it inside out and backwards. I think for me, that's a load of garbage. It's just not how I do things. If that's you, then that's great. I'm not casting judgment on anybody. I just, for me, if I were to limit myself to a single deck for even just a month, I would get pretty resentful, and I would also get demotivated. So how I choose what decks to use is just what I feel like on that particular day, my mood. Do I need something that's more hard-hitting? Do I need something that's softer? Do I need something that makes me laugh? Do I need something that, makes me smile? Do I need something that's more serious? That's how I choose the decks that I want to work with. And, I think we get to the same place in the end. Maybe it'll take me longer, but that's okay. Like the Bohemian Gothic, for example, is one of the decks that I mentioned that I do. I have been doing an in-depth deck study on. It's been now several months that I've been working on it. That's fine. So every time I pull cards, or I do a reading, I will actually pull out my journal, and I will, like the journal that I have dedicated to this, to the deck study of this, which I think I have here actually, and I will do an in-depth study of that, just that, those particular cards. Just have a journal which is dedicated to the Bohemian Gothic. Yeah, so you can see, I actually pasted color copies of the pictures, and then I will do my study in there. And so I'm making my way through that slowly, and that, I think, when you're thirsty, you don't pull up to a fire hydrant and drink from a fire hose, right? You will probably achieve better results if you drink a glass at a time, or half a glass at a time, a few sips at a time, over a longer period of time. That allows your body to absorb more. This is my opinion, like I said. And I'm also guilty of doing the opposite. I'm also guilty of like being all in and wanting to drink from the fire hose because I love something so much. So I understand both points of view. Just for me, that's how I roll. Okay, so yeah, in terms of my TDM studies, like I said, I've been continuing to, I'm just going to pull up a couple of books here. I have been continuing to study. So I have a couple of happy planners that I use for my studies with the different resources that I have. This one I got a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't started yet. And this is Camellia Eliash's Marseille Tarot. And also Sibylla is one of the things that I really want to get to know better. And I had a couple of resources, mostly on Kindle, so I can't show you. But I also got this one, which is supposed to be a really good resource, or the resource to have for Sibylla cards. Along with that, I did end up getting another deck of Sibylla cards, which is called I Misteri della Sibilla by Del Negro. And I got these because you can see the artwork there, but I got these because of the artwork. I just wanted something a little bit different. Here's the box. I love that they're more tarot-sized cards, or closer to, but the artwork is what do you call that? My brain's attacking. Watercolor. So that, and also I wanted to have the suits and the card numbers there. It is interesting, actually. I do like the fact that it also has some keywords at the bottom. So for me right now, learning, I think that's great. The previous one The previous one that I had didn't have any of those. Here's the backs. So it has just the title of the card, but it doesn't have the suit associations or the numbers. And what I've been learning with Sibylla is that the suits actually do make a difference and do matter. So I wanted to have a deck that was going to let me do that. So I think I mentioned before, so if you haven't tried Sibylla before, like Lenormand, it's very direct, right? It gives you, so they're, these decks of cards are called the chatty ones, because they will be very chatty, but they'll be very direct, right? They're not gonna pull punches. They're not gonna go into like some esoteric spiritual thing. This is what's gonna happen to me today, or what happens if I do this, or tell me about my day, and it will tell you like specific things as to like what's actually going to happen. So it's pretty, and even health conditions and whatnot. It's very interesting deck. So I'm having a great time learning about that. What else? Let's talk about some new decks that I got in the past couple months. I got this one here, which is the Peterson Noblette. They're small cards. I was debating between this one and the Fleur Noir. And the reason I got this one is because cardstock is thinner. It's kind of plasticky a little bit, but it is thinner and I can riffle shuffle it, no problem. The other one by Fleur Noir is more of the paper, which I would not want to shuffle, riffle shuffle. And I like the small, I do like the small, small size. I like very much the fact, so this is supposedly one of the oldest decks. So this is a photo restoration of this deck that is currently in the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, and it is a restoration of the oldest deck by Jean Noblet in Paris in 1659. So you can see it's not the stuff hasn't been cleaned up or anything. It's just strictly a photograph of what the original cards look like. The only difference being that I think some of the cards in the sword suit, I believe, yeah, from the 6 to 10 of swords, were missing in the deck that's in the museum, and so those were recreated by Peterson for this deck just to match the rest of the suit. But that one's been fun to use. I also got this one here, the Angel Wisdom Tarot by Radley Valentine. And now I have I will have walkthroughs of all of these. The backs I'm not crazy about. Let's be honest. Don't like it. But the fronts are very cool. So I do like that. Well, first of all, the artwork is amazing. I think they did a really great job of choosing what to put on the cards, of the color palette that they used. It's a very different deck for me. It also has, as you can see, it's got the commentary at the bottom. So that one's the King of Earth. Compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, grounded, a time of great success, financial security and prosperity, the Midas touch, everything turning out beautifully, a supportive parent and spouse, a good person to work for. Normally, I'm not a big fan of having keywords on the cards. However, I did want to work with angels a little bit more, and the guidebook actually is really good. I really like the guidebook for this, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's pretty nondescript. You can kind of ignore the text if you want, but I really like this deck. I think it's great. I think it's really great. So I'm looking forward to using that. I picked up, actually I think I showed this deck before. This deck is from Game Crafter, and oh, actually I'm not sure. This might be one of the deck walkthroughs that I didn't get around to posting it. So this is the Francis J. Jurger. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but Francis J. Jurger deck by Elaine Hall. It's her rendition. It is, I edged it myself, but it is available on Game Crafter. And when I first got this, so I got this deck, I don't know, September, I think. And when I got it, it was really weird. So this is on linen cardstock, which is amazing. I love linen cardstock. And it is a Besançon deck, as you can see by Juno, instead of the High Priestess. So it's on linen cardstock, which is my favorite cardstock. But it was weird because there was like 6 cards that were not on linen cardstock. They were just on plain cardstock. So they were really good. I contacted them and I said, hey, can I please get these 6 cards? Told them exactly which ones it were. Can I please get these 6 cards on the linen cardstock to match? They actually sent me a whole new deck, which is amazing. Anyways, Game Crafter has been great. I will say that. I picked up because I'm that person. This really cheap, like really cheap. It was $15 at Indigo Chapters. That's Canadian. Tarot book and card deck. So this is a also Tarot de Marseille deck. And this is what the backs look like. Still in order because I just got these. It's pretty good. I mean, cardstock is like, it's not terrible. It's pretty decent. Let's see on the side there. BP Grimode. Okay, so I guess it's a copy of the Grimode deck, which I don't have, which is great. And this one I got because I could just throw this in my purse and not have to worry. Like I said, it's pretty inexpensive. I really like the backs, but actually the biggest reason I got this was because of the book. The book comes with it. It has, so it's in full colors. It's in full color, and it has the picture, but also the meanings. And these were pretty interesting. Like, I actually really liked. I looked at some of these. They had one open copy, so I was able to look at the book before I got it. Before I got the package, and I liked a lot of the meanings. I liked the way that they portrayed it. And will it be? Do I like every single one? Am I gonna go with every single one? Probably not. I mean, I'm developing my own meanings, right, as I go through. But I thought this was a really good resource to have. It does have a few spreads in it. There's the Celtic Cross. I've got the horseshoe spread, the relationship spread, 3-card spread. Anyway, so there's all kinds of stuff, but that was really the reason why I paid the $15. And I got some Oracle decks. These are, well, I thought I was buying Previously Loved decks because it was a lovely lady that's fairly local to me. And I really only wanted one of the decks, but she was selling them for actually like a very, 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 very good price. So I ended up with all 3 of these. So the first one is the Sacred Destiny Oracle. And actually, I should say, I ended up with all three of these. What I thought was they were previously loved decks. Sorry. And it turns out they were all still shrink wrapped. So I've opened them just so that I can look. I haven't even actually really looked at them yet, as I just picked these up. The band is still on them, as you can see. But I really like this. I can't tell you how many times I almost bought this deck and just for some reason never hit the buy button. Probably because I have so many decks. But the artwork is gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to using this. So I will do a walkthrough and a review once I feel better. That was one. Just gonna reach over here. The other one is the Crystal Spirits Oracle. And again, brand spanking new. Here's the backs. Take that off. This one I had looked at and I chose not to buy this deck. I'm not sure how I'll get on with it, but we'll see. We'll see. I have it, and if not, then I can always pass it along. No big deal. Okay, and the one that I really wanted was this one here, the Mystical Shaman Oracle. So back when all right, Jade. Apparently this is childproof. Or jade proof. I can't freaking open it. There we go. Okay. There we go. Holy moly. So back when I was brand spanking new to my tarot journey, I saw this and wanted to buy it. I knew nothing about tarot decks. I didn't know that counterfeit decks were a thing. And I ended up buying a couple of decks that turned out to be fake. And this was one of them. And when I got it, and I realized how small it was. Like, it's literally, I'll show you how big this is. And I'll show you how small. Almost the size of my hand, right? The deck that I got, I don't have them anymore. Actually, I have no idea where they are, but it was about this big. I was so mad. I was so upset, and I couldn't return them because it was going to cost me twice as much to return them in order to get my money back, and I just wasn't. Anyways, I don't know what I did with them, but I just never I never ended up buying a new copy. It's on my wish list, and I just, for some reason, or I don't have a ton of oracles. I'm just kind of getting into using them together, and I didn't think that I really needed that many, so I ended up just never getting this. But when I saw this, that this lady was offering them, I jumped at the chance to buy a real copy. So that is the Mystical Shaman Oracle. Like I said, I will do a walkthrough at some point. Okay, one deck that I was super excited about which is still in the plastic. And this is from Penny over at Endless Skies. I didn't realize, actually, it's a funny story. I got a package from Make Playing Cards the other day. This just came the other day. I got a package from Make Playing Cards, and I was shaking my head. I was like scratching my head because I'm like, I don't remember buying a deck recently, or that I hadn't gotten yet from Make Playing Cards. Oh my gosh, like, what did I do? Did insomnia buying hit again? Because that happens to me sometimes. And then when I opened it and I saw what it was, I realized that even though I bought this on the creator's website, it came from Make Playing Cards. So this is, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's the antiquated, I can't remember. Brain fog is real. But it's the Tarot de Marseille that looks, well, you can see how it looks. It looks sort of like antiquated or antique-y kind of looking. There's the coins. I'll just flip through some of the King of Coins. There's the cups. There's the swords. Justice. I really liked it. And then you get to choose the backs. So I chose this back, which I wasn't sure about, but actually I really like. Did I show all the suits? Yeah, I think I did. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to playing with this one. Like, this one was really a big wish list item for me, and I was really happy to finally be able to get it. So those are the decks that came in the past 2 months. Oh my God, I'm so crazy. I probably shouldn't have bought so many. My deck collection is not insignificant now, but it makes me happy, and I worked hard for my money, yo. Okay, so that's my decks. Yeah, that's the decks that came in. I think that's enough, don't you? All right, what else have I been working on? I have continued to knit and crochet, and so I made another pouch. This is a crocheted one. This is for my Beautiful Creatures Tarot, and anyways, that's fine. It's for my Beautiful Creatures Tarot. I was thinking about, I have been thinking about what Julie over at Peekaboo Rose did in terms of reordering some of the cards, and I haven't figured out whether I want to do that or not. And if I do, then that involves cutting the cards down so that pouch won't fit anymore. And then this, I also crocheted this one. And this one is for a deck that I rebacked. And the deck, it's actually 2 decks that I combined. You can see the, they're not sitting perfectly together right now, but they were edged green and brown. I haven't cleaned it up. I have to do that. But what the decks are is, one is the Shapeshifter Oracle, and the other one is the Vampire Oracle. So both of them with these, and you can actually tell which ones are which from the sides. So that one has the gold and spirally or whatever it is on the edges, and then this one doesn't. It's just brown. So that's how you can tell which deck is which, but I keep them together and I use them together. I really like this deck, and it didn't really bother me that the backs were different, but I decided to reback them all with this sort of paisley backing, which I like. So that did make it thicker, which is why I had to make another pouch for it. Okay. What else did I crochet? Oh, you know what? I have one more deck that came in, which I forgot. This one kind of pisses me off, guys. I backed this on Kickstarter. This was the Adventurous Tarot. They now call this the Empress Deck. Yeah, Adventurous Terrell, the Empress Deck. I do have a walkthrough of this one. Why does this piss me off? This is a beautiful deck. It's not a tarot deck. I was promised a tarot deck, but it is not. It's got a lot of cards. It has like 102 cards, I want to say. Yeah, so these are all the extra cards. So you get duplicates of some of them. The Wild Oracle, the Familiar. So you get duplicates because they use a different color palette for some of them. So you get to choose. You get to choose which color palette you want for a bunch of these, which is great. So you kind of customize yourself. But as you can see from the titles, not tarot. So I got these because, well, one, it was a tarot deck that could also be used for D&D, as, for example, the Deck of Many Things or whatnot. And I kind of wanted to just try D&D out a little bit. And I thought, well, it might be fun to get a deck where I could do both. Not a tarot deck. So not a tarot deck. Cardstock's really nice. The cardstock is quite nice. I do like the inlay. I just don't know. And they do give you instructions for how to use this for divination, but like their suits are like monstrosities. And you get the same. So here's an example. The 4 of monstrosities is the same as the 3 of monstrosities, just a different color palette. It's the same as the 2 of monstrosities. It's the same as the Ace of monstrosities, or the 1 of monstrosities. They're exactly the same, just a different color palette. That's one of them. Another suit is Giants. Not even all the suits have the same number of cards. Fiends. Anyways, it's beautiful. The art is beautiful, but it's kind of in timeout right now because I'm a little pissed. Not what I thought what I was getting. But that's what happens with Kickstarter, right? Okay. One more acquisition, actually, which is this, the Guide to Essential Oils. I thought this was really cool. I really like essential oils for different things, and it's a pretty thick pretty thick book. There's 275 pages of actual essential oils, and then there's a reference guide at the back. But you know, it kind of they're kind of set up in different categories. So this category is for nerve relievers. So it gives you info as well as a picture of what the plant or herb is, and then features, the oils, and then how it can be used, and then the actual little recipe. So there's nerve relievers, hormone harmonizers, immune boosters, warming, stimulants, easy breathers, skin enhancers, muscle treats, skin food, carrier oils. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to working with that. I am I have been really into my essential oils and incenses lately, so I'm really looking forward to that this winter. I gotta figure something out, right? Because this winter I think is going to be hard with for all of us, just being stuck indoors, not being able to see people, and if there's anything that I can do to keep us all busy and distracted, I think that'd be good. All right, so I showed you the 2 pouches that I did. The other thing I finished knitting is what I'm wearing right now. I finished my, here I'll stand up a little bit. I finished my sweater. So I had shown this, and you can see actually if I do that. So it is knit from arm all the way to the other arm. And it's not washed or blocked, so it could be bigger. I could really stretch it out. But I think when I had shown this last time, I'd only knit like maybe 1 arm or something. I finished this in September. Actually, I haven't even like sewn in the ends yet, so I gotta do that. But I did want to show this because I was quite proud of it. I also finished making some yarn. So just some, you know, I had a bunch of like ends and whatnot, and just like sort of miscellaneous colors. So I spun them all together and then applied them with just a white BFL wool. So I've got 3 of those, 4 actually. They're just all different colors you can see in there. And this one actually is mostly just cream and then brown and cream. So these are just going to go in a scrap yarn blanket. My kids love wool blankets. And just sort of the messier colors and scrappier colors, scrappier looking the better. So it's really nice to be able to just, you know, work on this a little bit at a time as I go. It's a great stress reliever. And yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. I'm just going to take a sip here. Cold coffee, gross. All right. I didn't show all my new decks. I do have a couple more decks, sorry, that came in. I talked about my Darkness of Light from this same lovely person that I bought that from, which was Previously Loved. I also got a deck that I had been wanting for quite a long time. It is an out of print deck called the Tarot de Paris. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous deck. And yeah, it comes with the book. I was super excited to be able to find that for a reasonable price. And the Bonfire Tarot, which I also had kept, it's one of those decks that was on my wish list and I kept looking at and kept looking at, but never ended up buying. So I was able to get this. I'm probably going to trim off all the black borders because the titles are also on all the cards. So I don't know why we need that double. Anyway, I think that's it. I have to take the sweater off because I'm dying of heat right now. And so we're just going to take this off. Okay. I think those are pretty much, that is pretty much it, all I've been working on. November and December, I'm going to continue working through my studies for Sibylla and Tarot de Marseille and Lenormand as well. And I need to end this because I'm really not feeling well right now. So anyways, that was my quick wrap up, and or not so quick wrap up, it's almost an hour. But I hope you've been well. Stay safe. Keep taking care of yourself and your loved ones. And I'll see you later. Bye.